succulent napkin rings, we have some succulents. These are faux plastic succulents, and we got them at the dollar store. And we have some ribbon. We chose this pretty brown ribbon because it's a nice neutral background color that goes with the succulents. This ribbon is 5/8 of an inch wide, and it's satin. Then we also have glue dots. These are 1/2-inch glue dots, which are pretty big. And in addition to using the glue dots, we're going to use a hot glue gun. We have wire cutters and scissors, and then we're also going to use a paper towel roll. The first step to make the napkin ring is to make a little base, and we're going to make the base out of this paper towel roll. And so I just pulled this out of the recycle bin, a little paper towel roll here, and we're going to cut it so it's about 1/2 inch, and that's pretty close to the width of the ribbon. So you can use that, just eyeball where to cut that to. And you just do a little pinch to start, to get the cut started like that, and then drop your scissors in and cut all the way around. This doesn't need to look great because we're going to cover it with ribbon. So we're just going to turn and cut like that, and then meet back up with our original cut here. And if you're going to make a set of these, I'm just going to show you how to make one, but to make a set, of course, you would cut all the bases that you need. I'm going to trim that one little section that is sticking up a little higher. So this is the beginning of our napkin ring. And next what I'm going to do is put some glue dots on the inside of this ring. And they're going to help hold the ribbon in place when we wrap it with ribbon. Glue dots come on a little piece of paper like this. It's kind of a waxy paper. And it has these little flat pieces of glue. And the reason we're not using the hot glue for this part is hot glue and ribbon don't work well together. Usually the glue comes through the ribbon and it's visible, and we don't want it visible. So we're going to use glue dots for this part. And I'm just going to press them up inside the ring that we made and then peel off this backing all the way around the inside. So I'm going to put one there and then peel off the backing. Rotate this a little bit, put one there, and then one more about here. So now I've got little glue dots inside there. I don't know if you can see those. And now we're ready to wrap with our ribbon. This is about 1 yard of our satin ribbon. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to save a tail about 3 inches long, feed that through the inside of the napkin ring, and I'm going to press it up against one of those glue dots, and it's going to hold tight there like that. And now I'm just going to wrap the ribbon around this little ring. So to wrap it, I want to overlap it about halfway. So I'm coming around, and when I bring the ribbon over it the next time, I'm covering about half the width of the ribbon. I'm going kind of diagonally. And I can feel those glue dots are in there. I'm pressing up against the glue dot when I come to it. So we're almost back to the beginning here. I want to make sure all of our cardboard is covered. So I'm going to go around one more time so I still have a little V there. And now we've met back up with our original piece, or tail here. And now I'm just going to tie this in a knot. And we're going to leave these little tails as part of the decoration of the napkin ring. So I'm going to tie it 2 times, just like you tie the beginning part of your shoelaces. Not like that. And that is a great base, but I'll show you next how we're going to put on the succulent. The next thing we want to do is glue our succulent to our little napkin ring base that we made. And I'm going to show you a little trick with the succulents. These came from the dollar store, and I just took wire cutters and cut the stem off. They had a little stem back here where they were tucked into a little pot. They were in a little fake terracotta pot with styrofoam. So we just pulled them out and then cut that little wire. And what happens is sometimes the succulent separates like that. That is no problem at all because we can just glue those pieces back together as we're gluing it onto our napkin ring. You also might find succulents that are too big for your napkin ring. This one's very big, but it's pretty. And what you can do is you can pull it apart. So I can pull these bottom pieces off and pull out the stem like that. And I'm left with a smaller succulent, and this would be much better on a napkin ring. So feel free to cut apart your succulents to make them into what you want. So I think for this one we're going to use this succulent. And here's our napkin ring base that we just covered. I haven't trimmed it yet because I want to get our succulent on there first. And I've got the hot glue gun. You might think that you want to put the glue here, but really you want to make sure that you're hitting the points of the succulent that are going to make contact with the napkin ring. So I'm just going to hold them kind of adjacent to each other so I can see where to put the glue. And I'm going to put a generous amount because it needs to sink down over the knot that we just put there with our ribbon. I'm going to hold that for a second and let that glue. You could add a couple little tiny succulents here and there, but we loved how simple this is. It looks so nice like this. So now that we've got that glued on there, it feels good. We just trim the ends. So I like this tail sticking out, and I like it cut at a diagonal like that. I'm going to trim that little fuzzy part. Oops. And then trim the other one the same length. And there is our simple but beautiful little succulent napkin ring.